Big day today in the courtroom. We saw the wife of the victim take the stand, and as she was testifying, I said to myself, you know, she's testifying as the victim. I mean, she's giving life to the victim. She's telling us what he said, how he was acting, what his demeanor was. Just truly important testimony for the state. In your estimation, did she accomplish? Was she credible in terms of what the state wanted her to bring out?
Yeah, she had a lot of very strong parts, and I agree with you, Michael. She absolutely brought human to this victim into the situation, you know, dispelled a lot. And she had some really strong items and some really weak items, okay? Some things that left her susceptible to some aggressive cross-examination, like, why the wallet? You know, why didn't you just grab anything else if you just wanted to remember the body? It seems like you were digging for something, and so, or maybe even delaying, buying time. So that raises a lot of questions. But also on the other side, you know, provides a lot of intel, a lot of information for this jury about context of the relationship and who this person is that they should be, you know, ultimately rooting for. So I thought that, you know, she had some very good things to say and some items that absolutely are opening doors here in what would be her pursuit.
Yeah, now you mentioned aggressive cross-examination. It was fairly aggressive. I think the defense certainly toned it down from opening statements. But I want to get your thoughts on the tone and the aggressive nature and the way they went after about, to me, things that weren't particularly important to the defense, and why go after the widow that way?
Yeah, and that's you voiced it just right, Michael. She's a widow. You got to remember that when you're examining this one. You have to feel the sympathy. This is very important. I mean, someone lost their life. No matter how you twist it, no matter where you stand on this case, someone lost their life, and she is ultimately maybe the biggest victim of that causal relationship. So, you know, a lot to feel for someone like her. And you know, in examining her, you really do need to tread carefully and be very mindful to a lot of these human, you know, emotions. And if you're not, you will absolutely lose points with the jury. It's almost like bad pensmanship. I thought this defense team is doing okay. You know, I agree with you. In opening statements, the tone was a little different. Here, you know, maybe more leveled, but at times I thought misguided. And so, but overall, I think that there's a lot for them to show. And what is the tone like when Edgecomb himself takes the stand?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Of course, that should be coming up on Monday, if not Tuesday at the latest. The other thing today that this jury heard was about the defendant being on the lam, the idea that he lied when they came across him, told him he was somebody else. How is that, or how serious is that in terms of the defense and this idea that he had this consciousness of guilt?
Yeah, you know, what a person does after the fact can tell a lot about you know, what was happening at the time. So I thought that that's very relevant, you know, to be able to bring out the fact that he was MIA for 6 months, you know, raises a lot of brows, I'm sure, for this jury. So ultimately, you know, consciousness of guilt, that's a very good way to frame it. You know, if I was the defense, I'd be saying, so what? I don't think he was doing anything here. You know, I don't think that, I think he was acting, you know, in line with what his defense is. And so there's both ways to this narrative. And I think that the prosecution is smart for jumping on that.
Yeah, no question about it. And of course, the jury will be charged that his flight can be used by them in their deliberations as consciousness of guilt. So it's a problem for the defense for sure. All right, stand by. We're going to take a break now.